K-drama fan, another Astro Corner for you. So in this video, we're going to be talking about our 3 favorite Sagittarius. Come on, let's do it. Hey guys, so if you're new to our channel, this is where we talk about our favorite K-drama actors and actresses from a different perspective. More of an well, not even more, it is an astrological perspective. That's the thing. That's why it's called the Astro Corner. Before we dive into our favorite Sagittariuses that we're going to get into, let's talk about Sagittarius a little bit, shall we, you guys? Yes. So Sagittarius is November 23rd to approximately December 21st, depending on where all the stars are aligned. But that's essentially what Sagittarius is. It's a fire sign, it is mutable, and it is masculine. So it's got a lot of energy. It is super flexible, I guess is a great way to put it. And it's masculine, which means it's all about action. Some great keywords for Sagittarius. They're adventurous, they're blunt, they're intelligent. So do any of these kind of sound familiar from some of our favorite Sagittarius that we already know we're talking about? Chatty, philosophical, talkative, sporty, practical joker, traveled, good-humored. But as with all things, there's always kind of a dark side, right, you guys? And these are, if you go down a dark path of Sagittarius, which as an actor you can always tap into, quick-tempered, gullible, tactless, preaching, careless, reckless, and there's a bunch more, but I felt like these really kind of summed up a lot of the characters we're about to take a look at. Let's dive in, Marisa. Who is your favorite Sagittarius out there?
Oh, well, that would have to be Jang Hyuk.
Jang Hyuk, December 20th, 1976. Yes. So here he is. He's got a lot of Sagittarius in his chart, Marisa. So just quickly, as you look at his chart here, a lot of Sag. We just kind of covered over the keywords. What is it about Jang Hyuk that draws you to him? I'm curious about that because I like him, but he's not one of my favorites.
I think he's just got a particular kind of swagger and on-screen charisma that is just super manly and attractive.
Gotcha. Well, I think a big part of that, as you looked in when we looked at his chart, he's got 3 personal planets in Sagittarius. So the man just pretty much lives life the way he wants to live it, everyone else be damned, and has a really good time doing it. And so I think a lot of that comes through as he's performing. So,
yes. If you remember him from My Country, his laugh. Now, he does that a lot in a lot of his characterizations, but he has a laugh that just says all sorts of things all wrapped up in his
there's so much subtext to his laugh. It's amazing, right?
There is.
All right.
There really is.
He's a Sagittarius sun, as we just described all those aspects to it. So he's a good-humored guy. He's very cross-cultural, he's very interested. All of these things are the Sagittarius, and that is his life force. That is your sun sign. It is your life force, and that is what he's got, right? But he's also got it as his moon sign, Marisa. He is also a Sag moon, which is amazing to me. Anybody who has a moon and a sun in the same sign means their life force and how they emotionally feel safe are coming from the same spot. So they're flowing on a different level than most of us are because we all have kind of almost not conflicting, but differing energies to that. Jang Hyuk is all Sagittarius. So it's all about forging his own path, being the philosopher and, having a really good time with it. But he's also very much about freedom loving. And it's about this whole idea of just enjoying life and discovering new things. That's the big thing. They're wanderers, but they're wandering to discover new ideas and people and philosophies and all of that. And that's their whole life mission. And that's his life force and it's his emotional base.
I think that despite how strong he is, there's kind of this boyishness about him that I think that taps into that kind of exploration that you're talking about.
Right. And he's got a 3rd sign in there, and it's his Mars signs, which we'll eventually get down there too. But you add that, that's how he takes action. So that boyish charm is just woven into his personality. I mean, that's just who he is. It's kind of amazing. But I find it really interesting because for me, it is this Capricorn Mercury that is what calls to me, which may be because I'm a Virgo, because that's an earth sign, right? But you've got that, his gravitas, where I I guess I don't, maybe this is just me as as an astrologer. I don't find Sagittarius to have that grounded gravitas that a lot of the the more earth signs do, or even the Scorpios in the world, right? But Jang Hyuk walks on to any screen, and there is a gravitas there. And for me personally, feel that comes from a big portion of that is that Mercury in Capricorn.
He has the thing is he doesn't even have to say anything.
No, he
Like,
just exudes it.
Yes. Which was why it was so perfect in My Country, because he would just sit back on that throne or on his horse,
Right?
and he was just like, everyone pay attention to him.
Right.
But it also, you could see that also when he plays a cop,
Ah.
like in Tell Me What You Saw or Bad Papa. He
Right.
just, or Voice. Oh my God.
Right? And so that Capricorn energy is that CEO energy, right? Of being in control of everything they see. And that's how he communicates. And I think that's where he gets that deep, guttural, like volume that he can get, which is amazing. That's why he's an amazing general, because he can see the entire field and doesn't make a move until that happens. And so he can play into those things. And I think that's what draws me to him as an actor. Then he's got his Venus over in Aquarius, which gives him that need for friends. It gives him that friendly thing. It's about groups. It's about thinking outside the box. So he's got this Sagittarius energy, which is kind of forging your own path and discovering new worlds and the people in those worlds. And then you've got the Aquarius energy, which is that more rebel energy and being about the big groups. And so there is this flow, because those are sextile to each other. So there's this flow and the way his energy works that I think is why he's so successful as an actor, because he's channeling all of that through all of his characters. But you know more about Jang Hyuk than I do. How do you see that?
I'd say one is that you don't make a drama by yourself.
No, at all.
Right. It is a team effort.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he works constantly. But he is married with 3 kids.
Right.
So that's a pretty big group of, Jang family right there.
Yeah. I am fascinated about that, because a big thing with all that Scorpio energy, and one of the things that kept coming up, is this free spirit and eternal bachelor and all of these things. And I'm like, but he's like married with 3 kids, right? But he's always working. So I think what that is he has his home life and he's got his work life. And I feel like there's those people who like live to work and work to live kind of a thing. And he strikes me as that kind of guy that needs both to be truly successful. At least that's how I read it. And again, we don't have a birth time. So this is all, just guessing at this point, but I find it really fascinating.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because his characters, he's almost always the lead. Occasionally he does a cameo, but I think that's part of that exploration, like through these different characters and through these different dramas, he is exploring, different characters and different stories and different people.
Right. So it's fascinating. So we already talked about the fact that he is a Sagittarius Mars. So you've got all this Sag energy. So this is a man who is just going to want to like explore and understand the world and the people in it. And so I think that's what makes him such a great actor. But then look at that North Node. That North Node is in Scorpio, ladies and gentlemen, which not only gives him that spice that we're always talking about. That's what he's working towards. So I feel like as an actor, he's using that energy, and that's why he's so successful, because he's using that scorpionic energy of being secretive and mysterious. And some of those characters are a little bit on the dark side, right? And there's a lot of that muck that we always call. And so that's what he's working towards. But again, we go back to what the gravitas I was talking about. His South Node is in Taurus. So again, sticking in the mud, that muck that Scorpio wants to dig in, Taurus is already ground in there. And so Scorpio is going to want to get underneath that and discover all the things that are happening. So, I mean, he's got charisma to spare. I mean, that's just all there is to that. Like, for sure.
Yeah. Even when he's beating the crap out of somebody, you're just riveted by him.
Just riveted. It's amazing. Oh, Jang Hyuk. Such a lovely. So there's so much there. And probably the most famous Sagittarius that we've talked about a couple of times, but we can't leave him out in the Sagittarius video, can we? Oh no. Seo Joon. December 16th, 1988. Whoo, Nelly. right? We've talked about him a couple of times, but let's take a look at his chart real quick. He's got a sprinkling of almost everything, not a lot of air, but he's got the fire signs, he's got a lot of water, so he's very emotional. And he's got, again, that Mercury in Capricorn. So again, that bit of like that CEO-ness that we've seen pop out a few times. Even when he was in Fight My Way, he was so determined to be a fighter. Like once he locked onto that, like that was it. Like that's that kind of a thing. But he's got that Sag energy coming at us, but with those layers.
So his characters that we've seen recently are so different. Like what's wrong with Secretary Kim was completely different from Fight My Way, which was completely different from Itaewon Class.
Right. But I think that falls into this Sagittarius sun sign, which is about discovering other cross-cultural, other worlds. What was that cooking show that he was on? Yoon's Kitchen, I think is what it was.
Oh,
where he
yeah,
learned Spanish and like was the one who was speaking Spanish with it. Like that is like his wheelhouse. Like that is where he is happy and digs it, right? And so he's got a lot of that. But if we keep working our way down his chart, he's got a moon over here in Pisces, which gives him a soft heart that is just all about unconditional love. You've got, again, as we just mentioned, you've got his Mercury over here in Capricorn, which gives him that gravitas of communication. And then his Venus is in Scorpio, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. So let's talk about this for a second. And we've talked about it in other videos, but dear Lord, ladies and gentlemen, Scorpio just brings an extra zhuzh, in my personal and Maurice's opinion, there's just something unbelievably sexy about that Scorpio energy, regardless of where it falls in your chart. And everybody has it, and everybody can tap into it. But when it is a personal planet, and I find it really interesting that a lot of our favorite K-drama actors and actresses all have, not all, but a lot of them, Maurice says, we've been doing these for over a year. A majority of them have that Scorpio zhuzh in their personal planets. And I'm fascinated by that.
It is just this magnetic energy that no matter what the character just draws you to them.
And so Park Seo Joon has it in Venus. So dear Lord, when his relationship, like acting eyeballs fall on whoever his co-star is, all of us are like, yes. So I mean, it's amazing, and he uses it for all the good for all of us watching that. And I thank you, sir. We appreciate it, right? And then he's got his Mars over here in Aries, so he's got this very ferocious, and I think this was his Fight My Way, and even his Itaewon Class characters, that all about getting your energy out there. Like it is about jumping into the fray and asking questions later, which I felt was his entire Fight My Way and Itaewon Class character. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
yeah, he just
jumping in without a net, figure it out later, deal with it. Right?
That is so accurate. Oh my God, yeah.
And honestly, like Itaewon Class, I feel like while we loved him in What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, I feel like the fan base, I feel like they liked him as a couple with Park Min Young. But I feel like as a character, like I felt like Itaewon Class was the one that like gelled this rabid in a good way, like that fanatical fan base, right?
Oh yeah, you were rooting for him the entire time.
Right. And so I feel like that's where you're getting that Sag energy, and you've got that, Aries, you've got those two fire signs that are just converging on this. And then you've got that soft underbelly with his Venus and his sensitive side with his Venus in Scorpio, that's going to give you that sexy sensitive side. And then you've got the Pisces moon, which is going to give you that soft underbelly. And please, as we've said a million times, he's perfect to be an actor. He's going to channel all of that, and we're going to fall in love with him every time. It's ridiculous, right?
And we do.
And we do every single time. And then you look at his north node over here, and it's in Pisces. So he's got this conjunction in Pisces. So for Park Seo Joon, not only is he all about this, all that Sag, with the Sag energy in his chart, about wanting to explore other worlds and other cultures and get outside of whatever whatever box he was born into, regardless of where you grow up. We all were born in a certain box that where we learn, and people with a lot of Sag energy want to step outside of that and see what else is in the world. He's got this Pisces North Node, which is going to make him want to like give all the love he can find and just kind of go on his own path and just kind of be this it's this whole undercurrent of accepting of people and things and just exploring and experiencing and giving it as much as energy as they can. Like it's amazing. He's just cool. Right? So he's got all of that I think is why he's so compelling to watch. He's got all of this like global, I think that's exactly why it is. Like why he's so international, because he's got this kind of international mindset. That is why I think he's got such a global fan base, because of the Sag and the Pisces out there, because it's about cross-culturally connecting with other people. So then you look at one of my favorite female actors here in the K-drama land, and she shares a birthday with Jang Hyuk, but she was born in 1992. So we've got SeYoung, who I just think is delightful, right? We loved her in The Crown Clown, and now we're currently enjoying her in Kairos, right?
Yes, I can't wait to hear more about her, because she brings a really different kind of energy that really sets her apart from other K-drama actresses.
So let's take a look at her chart, right? I think one of the reasons you're so drawn to her, Marisa, is that your moon. You guys are both Scorpio moons.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, that Scorpio vibe. She's got that going for her. And so with that, she's going to be really good at dramatics, right? Because she's got that Scorpio moon. But what I think is really fascinating is that she's been a child actress. So the fact that she's got all this Sagittarius, as we looked at it, when we looked at her chart, she's loaded in Sagittarius as well. She's got she's got 2 personal planets and a North Node in Sagittarius. So just like Jang Hyuk, who also the December 20th, but years apart, a lot of this energy that is about forging your own path and walking off the beaten path and exploring other worlds and exploring other cultures and wanting to have that free spirit idea. And then you couple that with her Scorpio moon, which is going to give her that intuitive, sensitive soul. Like the fact that she was a child actress and such a successful one is not surprising to me at all, because she had the facets necessary. I feel like she was, because of all that Sag energy, she was independent enough as a child to be able to be on a set with adults, but she was sensitive enough to be good at those really emotional scenes. And so I find it to be a really interesting combination.
Because I'm looking at my drama list and scrolling all the way down. She did the first drama they list here. She was 7 years old when she did it. So yeah, that's amazing that she has grown this career to a place where she's really taking super interesting, challenging roles.
Right. And like, even like with this Kairos role that she's in right now, like it's not the romantic lead, really. Like I find it really interesting what she's doing with it. And she's very emotional, but she's also very feisty, and she's got this backbone to her, which I think is that Sag energy. And so as our 2 guys had a Capricorn Mercury, she's got the Sag Mercury, right? So her way of communicating with people is going to be much more about new ideas and being more philosophical and all those things we talked about before. So it's going to be about being a big thinker. She's going to think big ideas and wanting to go big with the idea, right? She's going to want to be kind of philosophical and have a deep conversation with you, but then be able to walk off and do her own thing because that's what she's really into. So it's this way of communicating that's just on a larger scale, right? So again, it goes back to when she was a child performer, she was able to do these things and probably have really intelligent conversations with adults that they were just like, holy shit. And again, with that sensitive soul. So then we take a look at where she's at with a Mercury, right? And she's got that Aquarian Mercury again like Jang Hyuk, right? Which I find fascinating because even though they're born on the same day, they are years apart, but they do have a lot of similarities here. And so she's got that working again well with groups and wanting to kind of be outside the box and kind of be a little bit different. And again, I think that plays to what roles we've seen her take, right?
Yeah, I have to say the one that stands out along those lines are she was in Hwayugi in A Korean Odyssey, and she wasn't the female lead. Like she took this role of the zombie and she really stood out. I mean, she made this zombie girl really sympathetic.
Right.
It was really
exactly.
That's one of the highlights.
She definitely, because of that Sag energy, she's not so locked into the structure of it all, not so locked into the tradition of it all, right? So she was able to think a little bit outside of those boxes. And then you, as a relationship situation where how she relates to other people, especially as an actor, you need to learn how to relate to other people. It's coming from an Aquarius standpoint. So she wants large groups of friends and she wants to be a part of the group, but she also is going to want to, not be quite standard, right? She's not going to want to be status quo. And I feel like that was exactly that Hwayugi zombie character. It was fantastic. And if we even talk about our favorite role of hers, even her in The Crown Clown, like she was in a very traditional role, but did untraditional things within it. And we loved every second of it because we bought into her walking through that journey together, right?
Yeah, she brought a really kind of modern woman sensibility to it, but it really worked in this historical.
It really did. And we freaking loved it. Like, I think the holidays this year, that's the one I'm rewatching. Like, that's the one I want to jump into, right?
Yes.
And then if we look at her Mars, she's got another water sign. So she's also got a ton of water in her chart. So she's a Cancer Mars. So the way she's going to take action is going to be from a more nurturing standpoint. It's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be a little quieter. She's not going to come at you like hot. She's going to come at you a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more nurturing and a little bit more, composed and refined. But there's a deep well of emotion there for it. Yeah. Again, very mature, right? Because she's super sensitive. She's got a lot of the super sensitivity, so she's going to be able to read people really well. She's got the Cancer, which is super empathetic, and then Scorpio is more intuitive, and so you get the combo of these two, and then you throw out all that Sag energy. Like, of course, she was going to be an amazing child actor who grows into an amazing adult actor. She's got all the pieces there to translate a script into something that we all believe in, right? And I'm just super excited to watch her.
I mean, she's still really young. She's only 27.
Right? I know. And she's already a powerhouse. It's amazing. And unless she just burns out and gets tired of doing it, wants to go in a different direction, she's going to have one of those careers that she's going to, forever. Right. And then you look at her North Node and it's again this is where she gets her triple Sag. So what she's here in this life to do and what she is working towards is that Sag ideology, right? So it's about being philosophical. It's about pursuing other ideas and cultures and philosophies and that whole idea of community. But what is community? Is it where I grew up? Is it out there in the world? So she's kind of got this philosophical, philosopher's stone mind that she's working towards, right? And it's just amazing. I love it. So then, as we always do, we're going to look at this first because I want to just look at all three of them together. This is something, Marisa, that I want to ask you about this. So as you look at all three of their kind of looking at their personal planets, all three of these guys have different levels of success, right? And like superstardom. What do you think it is that calls to us as viewers to each of them? And I'm just curious about that because I find that their charts are all so similar, but yet they always have that one little pop that makes it a little bit different.
I think they all take really interesting roles that are really different from the previous role they took.
Okay.
And this is what we love about K-dramas, right? It's not like we're watching Friends and we're watching, Jennifer Aniston, in the same role for 15 years.
Yeah, right. Season 17. Yeah. You're just like, I get it, Rachel and Ross. I get it. Okay, you're on a break. Got it. Copy that.
But you're seeing the same actor, every 9, 10, 12 months in a completely different role. And at some point, there's training, but there's so much of themselves that we're latching onto. And that's why we want to keep seeing them over and over again.
And so I think it goes back to that scorpionic energy.
It's compelling.
I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like I need to do a study just on that. Like, who has scorpionic energy and who doesn't? But I feel like when the actors that we've really been drawn to and the ones that we talk about the most in these Astro Corners, if they've got that spark of Scorpio, I feel like those are the ones. And I'm saying all of this, and the one name that I know I'm going to get yelled at about is Hyung Bin. I don't think Hyung Bin actually has any Scorpio in his chart, but he's still a wild superstar. So maybe this is not a good theory, but there's something about it. There's something about it that I feel we're always called to.
Mm-hmm.
So with all of that being said, I just want to shout out to the K-drama casting gods that as we look at SeYoung's chart, as we always do, we look at the Black Moon Lilith, which is the one that's right next to her, and it's in Pisces. And by God, Seo Joon does a double Pisces. I would love to see them in a drama together so badly. Like, as I was putting this show together, Marisa, I was like, yes. I mean, I feel like they would have an amazing rapport because of all that Sag energy of, like, quick wit, quips and all that kind of stuff, the good humor stuff and the great stuff. I think that Pisces Black Moon Lilith, which we always talk about, is kind of the woman's like innate sexuality on his North Node and his moon. Oh my God, I would love to see that. And then she's got that little Scorpio pop and he's got that Scorpio pop.
Oh my
K-drama gods, let's make this one happen, ladies and gentlemen. So, okay, there it is, you guys. Sagittarius. Just a brief overview, because as we always say, there are no birth times, so we really can't dive in. And it's mostly just for fun to just kind of give us a little bit of a flavor of what it is that we are so drawn to in these characters. And I think that Sag energy is such a fun energy. Like, it makes you want to watch them do things, right?
Yeah.
So there it is, you guys. Another Astro Corner, Sagittarius style. We're the K3. I'm Jen.
I'm Marisa, and thank you for being part of this K-drama clubhouse. We love bringing you these Astro Corners. So please support our channel so that we can reach more K-drama lovers. We really want to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. So please hit that bell, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well.
Yeah. And if you want to check out any of our other videos, we're going to throw a playlist of our 5-minute reviews right here. If you want to check those out, we have a ton of fun just talking about shows. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.